Hello YouTube. Today I have an exciting review for you. Just take a little drink there. As you can maybe see by some of my prior videos, it looks like I might be starting to get into knives. And this is true. I like knives a lot. I've always liked knives, but I've never really gotten into them until just recently. And I'm really big into YouTube. I mean, I probably spend 4 hours a day just watching videos on YouTube, and I can't even go to sleep at night without getting my YouTube fix. So what I've been doing is watching just about everybody's knife reviews, everybody. And you know, at first you'll start off with, you know, like some Kershaws, like this little Kershaw right here, which is a very good knife. I love this little, I forget what they call this knife though. I'll put it in the description if I remember. Then you start moving up a little bit, maybe to like a Kershaw Leak, which is a frame lock, aluminum handles, or stainless steel handles. Either way, that's a very good knife. Then you slowly move up. You might be like, okay, well, let me get into Spyderco. So I have my little Delica, and I'm not done by any means with my knife collecting. This is just the beginning. I bought a Spyderco. I wanted to start off kind of cheap with the Delica because I didn't know what they were all about and if I would like them. And I love Spyderco. This is probably one of my better knives. Then you'll move into some Benchmades. So I have a Benchmade 710 here, Henry Williams design, Axis Log G10, D2 steel, which is a very good steel, very good steel. I have some more Benchmades. I already did some videos. This is the Emissary. Now I bought the Emissary initially because I was like, I'll get the poor man's Chris Reeve or the poor man's small Sebenza, and I kind of think this is what I got instead of getting the small Sebenza. Then I got I bought this knife. Ooh, hit the tripod. This knife and the Emissary. This is the 2550 SBK automatic knife, mini reflex. I bought that the same day as I bought my Emissary, which is here. I only have one cold steel, and this is it. This is the Tylock. Very good knife as well. I like that knife a lot. Don't carry it too often though. This is more of just like, I don't know how to describe it. This is a weird knife. And then recently, I haven't done a video on this, but I wanted to get kind of like the poor man's Strider SMF, and I think this is kind of in between the SNG and the SMF as far as size goes. This is zero tolerance, 0300, black G10 here, 3D machine G10 by the way. So let me close this blade because actually I'm really close to the camera. I'm less than a foot away. You can see that this is 3D machined, both the titanium and the G10. This also has, which is something I like, a stainless steel liner. At first I thought it was titanium, and I took it apart, put a magnet to it, and this is fully magnetic. So this is stainless steel, and the clip is stainless steel, which I also thought was titanium, but I put a magnet to it. But what I like about the stainless steel liner over here on the G10 side is that the thumb studs can rest on that titanium side and can rest on the steel side, which is something that most of the Striders don't have. I have seen a Strider SMF that I think might be my next knife that has aluminum on this side instead of G10 and titanium on this side, and that one does rest both thumb studs on the scales. But I don't know if I want the SMF. I haven't seen it in an SNG. If I could find an SNG that has the aluminum on this side and then the titanium on this side, I'll buy that. If not, I might have to just settle for the regular SNG, which is G10 here, aluminum or titanium here, that the Lego one, the one that's just all squared off. Because I like the CC, but I'm not really worried about concealed carrying because pretty much I carry at least 4 knives and at least 1 gun. Sometimes I like to carry 2 guns. So that's basically that. But on to this review. I've been wanting a Chris Reeve knife really bad for maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. Once you just start watching these reviews on YouTube, you'll escalate. You know, you'll start watching some Spyderco videos, and then you'll be like, man, this person makes some pretty good reviews. Let me see what else they reviewed. And then you'll be like, oh shit, what's Strider? And oh, what's Chris Reeve? And oh, what's whoever else out there, you know? So I think the next step logically for me in production knives would be to get a Chris Reeve knife and then a Strider knife. I bought this knife first before Strider because the only Strider that I found that I really wanted was the one that has the aluminum on one side and the titanium on the other side. But if I can find that in the SNG, I'll get that. But since I didn't, I went ahead and I bought the Umnumzaan first because this knife to me is just perfect right off the bat. However, I also do believe that you can't just have one. The more and more videos I watched, the more I saw that for the most part, everybody that has a Chris Reeve knife has a Strider knife and has like a Rick Hinderer knife or has some custom knives. And I want to try and maybe not get into the custom knives because I tend to have a problem when it comes to shopping. I just spend way too much on everything, and you can maybe see that if you go down into my earlier reviews. I used to do watches, and I still have this watch I haven't reviewed, and I have some other watches I haven't reviewed. So I have a bad spending problem. So I want to kind of stay away from the custom knives because I don't see a problem with spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe even $10,000 on a custom knife. And so I just need to kind of stay away from that because I know that I'm going to do it. So I think I've reached the peak with the production knives with this Chris Reeve knife, and then I'm going to get the Strider here pretty soon, and obviously I'll do a review on that. But let's get into the review. Enough rambling. I don't mean to keep rambling, but I just want to kind of explain how I got into this and why I think this is a good hobby and why I think really everybody should do it if you can. I'll go ahead and I'll start with the box first. This just came in today. I was going to do an unboxing, but I had to meet my wife for lunch. So the knife came in as I was walking out, so all I did was open it, take it with me, and then I came back, so I couldn't wait. But either way, I'll run over what comes with it. Obviously, you get the Chris Reeve microfiber. You don't always get this every time. Sometimes they just come wrapped in like some like tissue paper. So I like this a lot. Then you have the box, which I love. And of course, they've won a bunch of awards and stuff. This is a new version of the Umnumzaan. This is using S35 VN, which is just a little bit of an upgrade from S30V. And of course, the scales or the handles titanium. And it was made October 18th, so it's pretty fresh. It was really hard for me to find this knife. I live in Florida, and I checked every single dealer in Florida, well, according to the Chris Reeve website for dealers, and no one had this knife in stock. I even called some knife dealers where they were just straight out of business. So I was kind of pissed off at that a little bit. One thing I liked about this, I got this from Grand Prairie Knives, GP Knives. I think they're out of Illinois. I'll put a link down in the description. They were great. And one thing I'll say that when it comes to buying a higher end production knife like this, I would call first to make sure that they have it. That was the first thing I wanted to make sure. And I also, some websites say that this knife blade was S35VN, that it's S30V. I wanted to call and make sure that I was getting the S35VN, because even on Chris Reeve's website it shows it as an S30V, which it doesn't matter to me. They're both great steels. However, I want to know which one I'm getting. So I called them up and they were busy. It probably took me 20 minutes to get through because their line was busy. However, when I got through, they did a great job. They said that they had it in stock. The guy was holding it in his hand. I forgot his name, otherwise I would have gave him a shout out. But just check them out. I think they're gpknives.com, Grand Prairie Knives, just gpknives.com. And just great guys. I second day aired this. I would have first day aired, but I was like, I'm not that much in a hurry, but I am, so I just second day aired it. I ended up paying $4.56, I believe, with the second day air shipping. The knife itself was $4.25. Also, I like how I got 2 stickers. That's great, because you know, I could put it on my car and then somebody sees that and then they'll want to break in. So yeah, I'll be doing that here pretty soon. And what else do we have in here? Guess a warranty card. Registration, alright. Okay, so that's basically all that comes with the knife. Once I opened it, I really wanted, you know, I want to get the Chris Reeve and the Strider because I want to see what all the hype is about. Everybody talks about how great they are and how you have to have them, and you know, I think they're right, but I wanted to see myself how great they are. Now when I first opened this, I've seen maybe 20-30 videos over and over and over again. I say I've watched maybe 20-25 hours worth of footage just on this knife alone. I decided to go with this over the Sebenza because of the large pivot and because the thumb studs rest. I'm going to try and refrain from opening this pretty fast because my last knife hit my tripod and I don't want to knock my camera over. The thumb studs rest on the titanium scales, so I like that. That gives you a little bit more kind of a safety feature to where this is not going to come back on you. Even though I love the Sebenzas, that's going to be probably what I get after I get the Strider. Will be maybe the small Sebenza, because the large Sebenza I think is about this same size, and when I opened this I was like, holy shit, this is a big knife. I didn't think it was. I thought it was going to be like what do I have here? I don't really have anything small. Either way, it's more like the 710, and I didn't think it was. This is a 3.9 inch blade though, but it feels like the 710 in your hand. And this is just a big knife. I mean, I don't carry this because it's almost a 4-inch blade. Not that it matters. I live in Florida and we don't have really any knife laws prohibiting these kind of knives or prohibiting automatic knives. So Florida's pretty lenient when it comes to knives. But I kind of was expecting something smaller. I guess maybe not as small as this, but bigger than this, but not quite as big as this. And this is just a big beautiful knife. The jimping is awesome on here. Let's see if I can get in on that. Your finger just fits great in there. And look at those pivots, how big that is. And look at that lockup. This also has a ceramic ball right there. I don't know if you can see it. I really need to get some better lighting, but that kind of just makes it to where it glides. And then the detent. It's just in there. I like how you just have really just one standoff, and then your lanyard hole is in this kind of ring that doesn't support anything, and then you have your pivot, which is great. That means this is going to be easy to take down. I do have to order the tool, but it's going to be easy to take down. You have your glass breaker there. This is where your knife rests. Just a great knife, titanium pocket clip. This does get kind of stuck a little bit when you try and put it into your pocket, but you just push it in there a couple more times and it goes all the way in. That's just a great knife. Looks like the only kind of carry is going to be tip up, right hand. However, I generally carry this in my right pocket, so I carry knives in my left pocket. So that's okay by me though. I just put it in there like that, and I'll just pull it out, and then I'll just. Now this is the stone wash blade. Now I didn't think I was gonna like this, but I like it a lot. You can see my camera in the reflection. See all my fingerprints on it. See that lockup? Let's stand off. Put a little lanyard. I think I might leave that on there at least until it starts bothering me. Now this titanium has kind of like a glazing. I already have a scratch on it from my ring. It has like you have to kind of see it to believe it, and then that's the bad part because no one in Florida's got it. So what am I gonna do to see it, huh? Gotta order it. Has like a little bit of a glittery, I don't want to say glittery, but like it does have that glittery look to it. And these grips are just, they actually help. I didn't think they would. I thought that would have been like a bunch of hype that people have done on their videos, but believe it or not, that does, like, your finger gets in there, and then it's not coming out of your hand, it's just there. And you have your little ramp in here for your thumb to kind of get in there for finer tasks, and then you also have a little bit of a edge up here. Now it's not going to be enough to cut you, let's say, per se, but it'll be enough to like help you puncture something if you need it to. But this is basically just going to be my holy grail of knives for right now. I might open some letters. That's going to be open some boxes. That's going to be about it. I don't really have a job where I have to break down boxes or do anything hardcore as far as needing a blade. But if that's the case, you know, I'll use my zero tolerance for that. Back to this. This is just a work of art. Now I do think the Striders are works of art too. In fact, I kind of think they're a little bit more works of art than this knife. I think this knife is more functional than anything else. Like, I consider the Striders to be a real genuine work of art. Like, I would feel like even using it to cut anything would be like a dishonor to it, because I love the way that they coat their blades, whether it's black or satin or stonewashed or the tiger stripe. It doesn't matter what coating they use, it just comes out like it's like a work of art. Then they have their G10 with the backspacer going all the way down. I love the way that is, and then the way that they have kind of like their heat treated titanium. That, it's just amazing. I just love the way they do their knives. I think that's the biggest reason I want a Strider, is just because of the finish that they have on the titanium side. I just think it's just great. But this knife to me is just more functional. Like, if you wanted to use your knife, I would feel like, I mean, of course everybody's going to have their own opinion, they're entitled to it, but I just kind of feel like this knife I want to use, and the Strider that I'm going to get here pretty soon, I'm going to carry it on me, but the only use it's going to get, I think, is if somebody comes at me and I don't have enough time to get my gun out. But I don't ever think about stuff like that. I try and be prepared. You know, everybody always says it's better to be prepared and have nothing happen than not be prepared and a war break out or something like that. You know, I don't want to be that person. So I'm always prepared. Phosphorus, bronze, bushings in here that are ventilated, so they're like they have circles drilled out on them, so it kind of has a little bit more room for the grease to kind of go into. So this is just a great knife. I mean, I love it. Great. Alright, well, hopefully this video is pretty long. It's like 23 minutes, but I'm going to edit some of it. Again, this is the Chris Reeve Umnumzaan. I'll give you a close-up one last time. And the hype is real. I think that this knife is worth every penny. Would I pay more? I'd say if the choice was mine, like if I was there and if I was like, okay, how much do I want to charge for this knife? I think I could probably get away with maybe going for $600. So if I would have had to have bought this knife for $600, I think I would have. That's not to say that everybody would. Some people are like, well, I think it should be $300 or $200 or $100 or even less. But I just think it's just a great knife. Also, when you this push bar, that has a little bit of room in there, so you can kind of push it down. But be careful when you first get it. You try and do it one-handed. I've almost cut myself a lot because you slide it over so hard, and then by the time you have it to where it closes, I've almost taken my thumb off. So just be careful when you first get this. You need to let it break in a few times before you just start flipping it and closing it. You don't want to get cut. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to PM me or leave a comment. Thanks again. Have a good day.